454 and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Get the lowdown with Lowetide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton's sports leader. Sports 1440.
If you're passionate about golf, you probably already know, and you've been waiting. The Quarry is now open, and all 27 holes are in great shape. Book now, get geared up at the Pro Shop, and start swinging at the Quarry. Don't forget about the Granite Grill Restaurant, an unforgettable top-tier venue to host all your events. For rental details or to book your tee time, contact the Quarry today. Edmonton's most popular golf and event venue. Call 477-THE-Q and visit thequarryedmonton.com.
Alberta runs on hard work and high performance. Titan Supply has the products, knowledge, and service to ensure that performance. Now, they're part of Benmore, a Canadian company delivering lifting and securement solutions across the country. From designing and manufacturing to delivering lifting slings, securement products, crane cable, and more. They're built to take on the toughest jobs. Titan Supply and Benmore, stronger together. Visit ben-mor.com.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Welcome to the Lowdown. On today's show, the Edmonton Oilers win Game 5. Can they win Game 6? If they do, I think they'll win it all. Sorry, Anaheim Ducks fans. This is a new series. Plus, CFL Draft gets some publicity from a very important person. And we're going to talk a little baseball. Good managers on good teams getting fired when crappy managers on crappy teams still have their jobs. What's going on? The Lowdown is brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's Truck Month, featuring their best deals of the year. Ask about 0% financing plus extra discounts for Costco members. WolfGMCBuick.com. So I have to confess something to you today. I forgot my computer at home. On my computer is my brain. So this is just ad-lib jazz Lowetide. We don't know what's going to happen, but our bank of lawyers is just to my left, and they are ready to switch me off at any time. I'm on a chair that has wheels on it. I could be by the Lego store within seconds, and you'll have a brand new host. We're going to go on the fly. It'll be just lovely. Don't worry about a thing. At this point in time, I say a lot of things about where we're available, YouTube, Sports 1440, radio, and then a bunch of other stuff that I don't remember. I think there's after the show, we tweeted out on X and stuff like that. And then we talk about our guest today. We have Kevin McCertie, our feature guest, coming up at 1 o'clock today, and then I do the introductions. Now, I have written down great introductions, so I don't remember them all. We're just going to go on the fly and see how close I get to what I wrote that is back at the hotel. Okay, here we go. Our first individual that I want to introduce, I am so happy because he got to pay for and go watch an Edmonton Oilers playoff win for the best possible reason. And I am so happy. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick, everybody.
Hey.
How was it?
It was a night for sure. The lady had fun, so that's what's important.
Exactly.
I was very quickly snuffed out for being a Calgary fan due to the fact that I was not wearing any Oilers gear and I was not wearing any Ducks gear. So the people in our section and the lady who kept serving me beer, she was lovely, remembered who I was.
Right.
So that was nice. But they
You
were
were
like,
kept
"Oh,
buying
you're
beer. That's why she remembered you.
they're like, "Oh, you're a Flames fan." Yeah. So when they would start chanting, "Let's go Oilers," everyone in the section would just start saying Calgary sucks. Just like as part of the chant. And so like I got a good chuckle out of it because I'm like, I mean, yeah, they do. Like
but not for long, only 3 years, and then they win
That's
Stanley.
right. That's right.
All right. Next individual is loved by everybody, unless you're a clergy, a Taylor Swift fan, or any member of the Detroit Red Wings defense in the last, say, 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Donovan Paulson. Donovan Paulson, everybody.
Thank you, Al. Yeah, if you're a member of the Detroit Red Wings defense, or you're Steve Yzerman and listening to this, let me just say, the fact that Steve Yzerman still has a job is shocking.
Is it a stretch to say that if Detroit Red Wings had put together a defense that was just a little above average, they would be a team that would be a going concern in the playoffs every year?
Absolutely. You look at them and go, what you see in Buffalo right now, obviously tremendous defense,
right?
But they would be, in my mind, somewhat similar to that. Look at how much talent is up front on that team.
It's crazy. Finally, I want to introduce somebody who's always my favorite, or one of my favorite people, but last night especially, as the entire city is going wacko on the Edmonton Oilers playoff game. My guy is tweeting about the Canadian Football League draft. That's my guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger, everybody.
Yep.
Well done.
Big one. Carter Kettle, you're staying home. Good night of Edmonton sports.
Yeah, I have to say though, I was hoping that they were going to draft the Edmontonian, who is rated very high. Saskatchewan ended up getting like in the 9th round.
Which one are you talking about here?
The number 3 overall guy who is ranked that way, but I think he is signed with maybe Carolina Panthers and O-lineman, and a good player. We had talked about him previously in our CFL chats. If I had my computer here, I could tell you his name, but a good player, and they end up not getting him. Saskatchewan gets him in later rounds. He won't be here for a couple of years at least, maybe never. But I thought Edmonton would maybe grab him in later rounds.
You talking about Albert Reese?
Yes.
Yeah, heck of a lineman. Played at Miss State. That's SEC ball, man. Great size as well. Heck of a player. He's the one you take late because, he's probably not going to come to the CFL for a little bit, so I understand not reaching for that. But I was happy with the draft overall. Article coming out at some point.
Okay, and you'll promote it on the show, though, right? Where can they go? What site?
elksnation.ca. Not .com, because this is the Canadian Football League.
Okay, but
not the Communist Football League.
I promise to read it, and then I'm going to have questions for you. All right. I'm going to start. I'd like to hear everybody's opinion on the Oilers game last night. Look, here's the deal. The Edmonton Oilers got good goaltending. They suppressed a lot of high danger chances that we'd seen earlier. They played more structured, but you know what? They did in the second and third period. The score effects, you can say, but they did give up a little bit. No doubt about it. Exchange power play goals in the second period. The flow of play, it always happens when you get a 3-0 lead early. But there is something I want to talk about today, and it is an opportunity that this coach has to possibly give McDavid and Draisaitl, if they're going to play together, a little bit more opportunity. Okay, that top line last night, Draisaitl, McDavid, Kapanen, 11-40 at 5-on-5, 4-7 shots. That's not 50%. They scored a goal, didn't give up any. 21 expected goal share, and 1-2 high danger chances. Here's the deal. The best defenseman on Anaheim is Jackson Lacombe. And Quenneville believes in line matching. Chris Knobloch does not. In the 51 minutes that Lacombe is on the ice against Connor McDavid at 5-on-5, they're outshooting McDavid's line 30-15, outscoring 4-2, and have an expected goal share of 65%. When McDavid is away from the Lacombe pairing, in 33 minutes, he's 63% shots, 74% expected goal share, and 50% goals. Now, they're not high on the goals, but they're doing much better. I know they don't like the line match, but McDavid's not 100%. Draisaitl's not 100%. They don't play great defense even when they are 100%. And you have Kapanen with them. Line match. Mr. Knobloch, you've got the goaltender. You've got the defense playing pretty well. Line match. Do it. Make sure you get clean air for Connor McDavid. You could win on the road if you can do it, but you have to do it. And I know it's hard on the road. Okay. Who's next?
I mean, I'll take her here. I don't know how you can't be at least encouraged with some of the signs from last night. Like what were the things we talked about all across the station that the Oilers needed to improve on into last night, right? Some of your best players needed to be your best players. I felt that happened. Zach Hyman awoke last night a little bit. Vasily Podkolzin helped him do that, no question.
Podkolzin had a great game.
Podkolzin was all over it.
Yeah.
And he helped Zach Hyman wake up a little bit to me. Evan Bouchard checked in.
That was a great little tease at the blue line. Oh
that play at the blue line, maybe 3-4 NHL defensemen can make that play. To me, you had two of your key players check into the series for the first time. I know they had points earlier in the series.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually played well for the first time in this series. And then some other things that needed to happen. The Oilers needed to stay out of the box. They did. That was a tough penalty by Colton Dach, but they stayed out of the box. And the vast majority of that game was played at 5-on-5 as a result. So the Oilers went at 5-on-5. I feel like they're fine in this series. As soon as they get into penalty troubles, I instantly don't feel fine. And then you looked at other stuff that happened and needed to happen. You needed to possess the puck in the offensive zone and stop turning the puck over so much in the neutral zone and the offensive zone. I felt in the first period, they did that in spades. They got to their game in the first period. The shots total for Anaheim was a perfect evidence of that. I would say a lot of score effects later in this hockey game. I'm not so worried as everyone else is about this. They did flip the puck out a ton in the second and third period. But did you ever feel actually in danger by what Anaheim was doing as a result? I felt like I was watching the LA Kings. Yeah, that's what the Oilers felt like in the third period.
I think the Oilers did a lot of things like they didn't overplay Matthias Ekholm, who is obviously not 100%.
Yes, but he also had a good game last.
Well, yeah, he made a great goal-saving play where he just lurched to make the play. There was a lot of that. There was a lot of selling out, which I like to see, and you need to do. I thought Szymanski lost his edge because he was worried about taking a penalty, and I wonder if they slide Frederick in, who was he made the mistake on the overtime goal, so I know he's being punished. I don't know for how long, but I want Doc Frederick play well together. I think that pairing should be out there.
While I would agree most times normally, I would also suggest that Jason Dickinson, we can all talk about, McDavid's not 100%. At least McDavid, you can see that he is probably 80%. Like, he's still lightning quick. I watch Jason Dickinson, and I'm like, that guy's at 50.
Oh, yeah. No, he's not 100%.
That guy is just grinding as hard as possible. You can tell that everything hurts. And look no further than the final 10 minutes or so of that hockey game. The only reason he even had a shift was because the Ducks had an empty net. Yeah. And he was out there just for about 30 seconds to, really ensure that things were locked down. But
6 shifts in the third period. He didn't play much.
Yeah, like once it hit 10 minutes and they were still up 3 goals, they were just, you know what, Jason, just sit down. Let's just rest up as much as possible and let's not overuse you. Like, he played 10 minutes in that hockey game. So Lazar is still in because they're not certain of what's going to happen with Dickinson.
That's fair. Declan.
Yeah, I think Donovan makes a lot of excellent points. Him saying it felt like we were watching the LA Kings for I don't know if you said the second and third period. Yeah, you can unbelievably accurate sentiment. Listen, great start to the game. Obviously came out flying 3 goals just like that, quick succession. Never really felt in doubt because of how they were playing. Like, I do think there was a lot of good to the game, but overall, I didn't leave feeling the most confident. And I'm in a weird spot because I said yesterday, like, I still think the Oilers are going to win in 7. And I'm in a weird spot in this series because I've never wavered from the Oil winning this series.
In 4?
Well, I said in 4 initially, obviously, that's well documented, but I've never wavered from saying they're going to win as the series has gone on, even as they've gone down 3-1. So for me to sit here and say it wasn't the most confidence instilling performance is a little bit of an oxymoron. But I just thought, like, what was it? It was 8 combined shots, 5-on-5 in the second and third period. I get that you're sitting on a lead, and I get that protecting the lead has been an issue for this team. So it was nice to see them kind of round into form and be able to do that. I just felt that Anaheim was like, when you check off boxes for where the game is played and how the game is played, however many boxes you want to have for both teams throughout the course of 3 periods of a game, I felt like Anaheim checked more boxes, and that's why it's not the most confidence instilling performance for me. But you got the win. I don't think you're ever going to lose game 5 at home. You got to go take care of business in Anaheim. But if I'm Anaheim, I don't walk away from that game thinking, oh man, we really got manhandled. And like, oh, this was a wake up call. Like, we're not the better team in the series anymore. If I'm Anaheim, I walk away from that game thinking we kind of were the better team for 40 minutes and it just didn't go our way. So that's where I come out.
Any thoughts on, I want your thoughts on this game, but maybe, Josh, if you can continue after that and talk about game 6 and how important it'll be. Anaheim will bring their best game.
Yeah, I might as well just go to that. Like, I don't think I can do any better than what the three of you have already touched on. I mean, like, Connor Ingram was really good. And I think that's really like what the Ducks are thinking about is that, yes, they played better through the entirety of the second half of that game. And they go into Anaheim. They won 2 games in Anaheim already. They're like, we have a good home crowd. We played better than these guys. Like, Connor Ingram made some unreal stops and the defense played hard. Do they have the energy to keep up with that again? So I think for Anaheim going home for game 6, they're like, yeah, you know what? Let's just keep playing our game. Like
After the stall got pulled, I thought they were the better team.
They were
honestly.
good. Yeah. And that was just an uncharacteristically like bad game for Dostal. Like that second goal is an absolute backbreaker from Hyman that just slides into that. You're like, oh man, like this is an off night for the guy. Like, this is bad. So, I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from the Oil. They were absolutely unreal in that first period where I was like, oh yes, this is classic Oilers of their defense's extended ozone time.
And Lowetide, do you have the numbers on how many high dangers Connor Ingram faced?
Well,
I thought he played.
I think it was 7 or 8, and he stopped all but 1. I believe.
I thought he played very well.
Yeah.
But.
So I don't have anything on anything, just so everybody knows.
Sorry, that was a dumb question. Dumb question.
But I will say this that in all honesty, the things that I mean, I really thought Ingram played well. But he had calm feet. I also think the defense. Gregor mentioned about Wallman playing well. I thought he played well. He actually had over 2.5 minutes with Evan Bouchard. One of the reasons why I think that Ekholm is being rested a little bit at times during games. But I said at the top, I really think line matching, it's hard to do on the road. But if they can get clean air for McDavid, even double shifting him, I know that sounds nuts because he's hurt, but if you could get him out on a lesser line when he's not against Lacombe, I think that might be something that they can really utilize. And the other thing is that I want to mention is the second line, the Hyman line with Nuge and Podkolzin. Yeah.
Tremendous.
Boys, I've never seen it before, but they were really damn good.
They were all over it.
Dude, Vasily Podkolzin is sneaky, just like the magical puzzle piece.
How dumb are the Canucks?
I mean, like,
Talkett said he wasn't an NHL player.
Guys, we could sit here and rag on the Canucks all day long for stupid decisions
they
made. We've done it before. We can do it again, but like, it's sort of like no need to beat the dead horse.
The one last thing I just wanted to add is like McDavid's clearly hurt. The game's over. Like, you do not need him on that final power play. Like, just keep him on the bench, man. Well, like, I think it's fine, bro.
Yeah. I think this series is the coaches to win if he plays it smart. I like the pairings. I like that line, man. Podkolzin he's starting to be a difference maker. He's starting to push the river. It's incredible that I'm saying this. It's nuts, but it's true. And then the defense is like they're managing the defense quite well. Bouchard's, I'm just watching that ridiculous blue line play. And Leon feels like I think Leon's got the juice now, and I think there are good things happening. Anaheim's going to give their best game. There's no doubt about that. Very quickly, CFL draft, Declan, just a real quick view of what the Elks did. It felt like what is it with the Elks and linebackers?
Yeah, so I was a little surprised by the pick for sure. Now, to be fair, Dariel Jabon, he was like the highest ranked linebacker coming into the draft. Like, he was very, very high in all mock drafts, wherever you look, 3Down Nation, CFL.ca, whatever it was. Tackle monster, as I pointed out in my tweet, but I just don't, he's poised to play the Mac or the Will. He's not really mobile and doesn't have kind of the smaller size in the CFL game to play the Sam. And even if he did, you got Chalen, Cordell, and Kenny, who are all going to rotate at that Sam spot. But then you have a pretty legitimate core of Nick Anderson, Joel DeBlanco, and Brock Mogensen to play the Mac and the Will, so much so that you released Niles Morgan, who had been the team's best defender for a couple of years prior to last season. So, he's drafted to be a teamer. He's drafted to be a long-term project. Ed doesn't really love paying linebackers. We obviously saw that with the release of Niles this past offseason. So anytime Ed can get younger and cheaper at the position, he's going to do it, I think. But like it goes back to what I said. Like, I think the Elks are very comfortable with their starting roster, that they say, okay, let's get some athletic guys who can go play on teams, can make blocks, can fly downfield, get tackles. And then a couple years down the road, when it's time to pay some of these guys, we're not going to do it. And hopefully these guys are finished products. That's what I saw with some of the draft picks.
This microphone smells like a beer. I think I'm in the Piano Man.
Wasn't me.
That sounds like walks if I've ever heard.
Carius was here, 2 hours ago? Anybody check on Carius? I'm just saying. All right. We're going to talk about this after the break, but I want to tease it right now. And I'm going to ask Donovan the question. Why, in the 30 Major League Baseball teams, are the two guys that got fired, the Bo Sox and the Phillies manager, good teams having a slow start?
Yep.
But I could pick other candidates. I really could.
I could probably pick about 10 others.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. These guys are going to get picked up. What's his dude already got a job offer?
Yeah, he got a job offer, 24 hours after?
But he doesn't want, he wants to spend John Henry's money. So that's what he's going to be doing. All right. We're also going to talk about the Edmonton Oilers road trip to Anaheim, huge game, and the other NHL playoff games. I can't believe Boston, man. They're not that talented, but they're still in it against a really good Buffalo side. If I'm Carolina, I'm just happy that I'm home and dry and waiting. So that's straight ahead. We also have Kevin McCertie coming up at 1 o'clock. Rumors just ahead. And what's on Declinations today? We did the high-low Yahtzee yesterday, so we can't do that.
Yeah, the high-low Yahtzee. We're going to be dunking with Declan. We're going to be dramming with Josh. We're going to be dribbling with Donovan. We're going to be laying it up with Lowetide.
Well, I don't know.
That's right. We're talking cricket.
Dribbling with Lowetide at my age probably makes more sense.
Good news.
But it's not illiterate.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now.
Cole will usher it up the left-hand side. Held in. Hard collision between Lazar and Trouba. And the Oilers are away. Nugent Hopkins with goals in back-to-back games. The Bouchard. Beautiful look. Edmonton for the 5th consecutive game in this series. Strikes first. Here with a up the left side. Granlund didn't get it out, but Hellison will. Both away from Seneca. No stall to play. Nugent Hopkins able to pick it up. Redirected. It's a 2. Nothing. In the first period. Carved out of there by Kapanen. Flicked over to Draisaitl. Gathers himself. McDavid. Inside, hooked away from Draisaitl one time. Draisaitl from Bouchard. 3-0. Edmonton pouring it on. This is a beautiful shot pass by Evan Bouchard.
Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly. Guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, good to go.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or on the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. for a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. Use code 1440 for 15% off at notalonecode.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Gregor brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays, 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
You probably know Stingray for radio advertising.
What about digital advertising?
Yeah, we do that.
Connected TV?
We do that.
Search and social?
And that.
Programmatic? Digital out of home?
We do it all. Endless digital platforms to connect your business to more customers, to intrigue them, engage them, so they choose your product or service. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com and let us help your business grow. We are Stingray. That's what we do.
Why pay dealership prices when you can get the same quality for less? Hi, it's Lisa, and here at Ed's Auto Salvage, we've been Alberta's trusted source for used auto parts for nearly 50 years. From engines to mirrors, transmissions to tires, we've got it all at prices guaranteed to keep your wallet happy. Shop local, shop smart. Shop Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Be sure to visit us online at edsautosalvage.com and get your vehicle back on the road for less.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Declan, what a great song you just played. As bumper music, that thing absolutely, what's the word you kids use?
Slaps.
Slaps! That's it. That guitar slaps, man, I'll tell you that. It's time for Rumors, brought to you by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com. You know what? All day today, because you're here, I'm going to think it's Tuesday, and that's a fact. It just is.
Yep.
All right. Edmonton Oilers win. The 3 goals in the first period just kind of set the tone. And I think there's a non-zero chance Anaheim will, slap back, as it were, in a similar way in Game 6. It's very important for the Oilers to make sure that they button down the hatches as they did in the second and third period. You can give up shots and you can give up chances, but those high danger opportunities are the ones you want to avoid. And I thought they did a pretty good job of that. We'll see how it goes. I did think that Connor Ingram played extremely well. I would have made him a star. Players like Ekholm, who are brilliant, but are not necessarily 100%, played well, I thought. And obviously putting McDavid and Draisaitl together, which is, the opium of Edmonton Oilers coaches, it worked out really well. So good signs there from the Edmonton Oilers. We'll wait and see who's going to be available because, look, if McDavid and Dickinson didn't skate yesterday, they're not 100%. How close? Don't know, but they went in and played last night, so we'll have to hear what's going on. We heard last night from the coach saying, I didn't tell him to sit back. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think coaches do that. It's just a natural thing that happens. I think when you're up by 3 goals, that's why teams lose 3-goal leads, because in your brain, you're like, yeah, we're going to get in there. But you dump the puck in, you go on a change. It becomes routine, right? And it gives the other team an opportunity to push. It's called score effects. And I don't think coaches ever say, hey, let's go get us some of that score effects. That's not how it works. But that's what happens. And I mean, I don't think you can, reasonably accuse a coach of suggesting that the team lay back, unless you're playing like the Swarm or any of those specific defensive situations like the left wing lock. But those are designed to suppress. The Oilers were they were in the offensive zone, I thought, enough in the second, third period. They weren't, making dangerous plays, and good on them for it. I thought it was a pretty structured game. I thought they were giving up more shots in the second and third period, but I never felt I maybe twice in the whole second and third period, I felt like Jesus is going to end up in a penalty or a goal against. They did a good job, and so did the goaltender. That's my take on how the Oilers played. When they get to Anaheim, it'll be a little different. I mentioned in the first segment, it's hard to do. It's hard to line match on the road. But Coach Chris Knobloch can give his star player, Connor McDavid, a lot of opportunity if he can get him out there clean air against other than Lacombe defensemen or defensive pairings. I like that idea a lot. I can't believe it's as stark as it was. I looked at the number after the game last night, and I was shocked at how much they're playing. 55 out of 86 minutes, something like that, the Lacombe pairing. That's a hard match. And Joel Quenneville's found it, taking advantage of it. And Chris Knobloch surely knows about it. And I really think he should try to do something about it in game number 6. Game number 6 is hugely important. And with that in mind, would you make any lineup changes, any of you?
No.
You wouldn't go back to Jari? Come on now.
No, I'm staying with Ingram. I mean, I think that was pretty apparent with Jari played really well.
He did.
In game 4.
I think you could feel better if you have to use him later in the series or later in another series.
I completely agree. I would just say, I think it's evident that Connor Ingram is the guy for these do or die must win games in terms of Chris Knobloch's point of view. And yeah, you feel better about Jari if need be now. But for me, it's Ingram. For me, you don't even need to make any lineup changes. That's just, you got what you needed, which was the win. You got some of your big boys checking into the series, and you got to your offensive game. You were allowed to dictate the play for about 30 minutes of that hockey game in the offensive zone. And listen, were the breakout passes cleaned up? No. The breakout passes still drive me nuts. Those up at center ice, two forwards.
I get so irritated I have to go get a beer.
It's awful.
No.
But I would suggest that if the Oilers are just able to get to that offensive zone time as they were last night, they'll be fine.
Do you think when I look at the series that are going on now, who was I talking to? Somebody was talking to about Carolina having too many days off, right? The teams that have swept or gotten out of series early, it's great for them, but they're going to be sitting for a long time. But I'm not watching like Minnesota and Dallas, for instance. Minnesota's up 3-2 now. Do you think they'll have an advantage against Colorado because they played more recently than Colorado? And if so, is it a big advantage?
There is something to there. I think there is something to that. I don't know how big of an advantage it is. To me, it's only slight.
No. And you're playing like that extra hockey is really tough hockey.
That's what I say. Like, I think it's an advantage to you like this Edmonton Oilers team. If they were to get extra time off, we could do nothing but good to heal the guys who are injured.
Because my thing is, like, in a lot of situations, I like in the rest versus rust argument, I like being fresh. I like, being out there, having your legs under you a little bit more recently, not sitting at home on the couch waiting. But Dallas, Minnesota, like, that is such a tough, hard-fought series. Like, you're not going to get anything. If you come out of that series, you're not coming out unscathed. That is, like, the one instance I would probably rather take the rest and kind of be gearing up to go.
It was Rachel on Monday
Right.
that had that stat of teams that did a sweep and met up with a team that went 7 in their previous series. The team that swept has never won.
Yeah, it was pretty prohibitive, and I found it interesting.
I'll be honest. I have either Minnesota or Dallas beating Colorado, regardless of how this goes.
Ooh, interesting.
They didn't look great against LA.
I don't.
We weren't tested against LA.
I don't like that Colorado team that much. I've said it all year. Minnesota's been my team that I've picked to win the Stanley Cup, and it's been that case for months. It's like 4 or 5 months now. And
Ken Holland has a 1997 edition of the NHL Guide and Record book, and if you're not in it, he's not hiring you.
That to me. Like, sure, you can say that Minnesota Dallas series are going to be guys a little bit banged up coming out of it, but man, like, I don't know the way that Minnesota bottom six plays.
According to Nick Alberga of Leafs Morning Take, this is from
this will be good.
Pro Hockey Rumors. A third candidate has made it to the final stages of the Maple Leafs GM search. Michael Futa, currently serving as special assistant with the Carolina Hurricanes, has joined Michael Chayka, and we'll see who ends up with the job. But these are different cats, right? Because Chayka is analytics, and Scott White, assistant GM of the Dallas Stars, has a little bit of that in him as well. But the Leafs, when they hired Kyle Dubas, he had an analytics bent. I don't know Futa's background overly well, but if he's in Carolina, they have some analytics going there as well. Who's the ideal candidate for the Toronto Maple Leafs in a time where they have to make decisions quickly because they have Austin Matthews on a shorter term deal? He really turned the screws to the Leafs by going shorter term each time. Where do you see what kind of GM, as opposed to specifics, fits Toronto best? It doesn't sound like they're going with the old traditional way the Oilers have done 3 times in a row. Declan.
Oh, I thought you were going to Donovan first, so I was chilling back here. No, listen, I think they need a GM who isn't scared, probably isn't the right word, but I just think like when you're in that market, you get a little tight, right? Like I think it happens with players facing the media. I think it can happen with coaches. I don't know if it necessarily happened with Berube, but I just think you need someone who isn't going to get off of their style and get off of their game, for lack of better words. Like now, if you're asking, is it someone who's like an old school kind of guy who wants to build a grit and grind roster, which maybe Toronto's gotten a lot of heat for not having, like they don't have anybody who's going to step up, protect guys, whatever. Does it need to be someone more analytically driven? I don't know. I don't know what the best fit for Toronto is, but it needs to be someone who can stick to his guns and build the team the way he sees fit.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, no, it does.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right.
Yes, it does. I'm surprised the Bruins are still in. Like, I'm a Bruins fan. I didn't think they had this in them. We all agree Buffalo's going to win that series, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious.
Just a question of when, not if.
Yeah.
What about Philly-Pittsburgh?
It's still Philly.
Okay.
Really?
Pittsburgh's.
I don't know. Like I think I tend to agree with you, Donovan, but shout out Pittsburgh though.
I think I'm just falling in love with like the script writer's story, basically, of like, the Penguins are dogs. Like they've been here before. They've done it. Like a guy like Crosby, as old as he is still like, I look at him, I go, oh yeah, he could put a team on his back. Like every shift he's out, he's gonna lay some hits. Like he could put up 2 points a game easy. I see it in my mind's eye. And it's just something that the Flyers are like, I don't know what we're supposed to do about Crosby, man. Like, I don't know.
Like the Penguins are like, this is they're such a tough out because they had great players, 20 years ago, and they've just got a wide swath through the NHL for a long, long time. But like, even if they get out of the series, they're done.
Oh, they'll get pumped by whoever it is
they play Carolina.
Oh yeah,
like the money ran out and the engine blew. It's a country song.
Yeah. That Penguins team, I'm actually surprised they've won a couple games here, because I think they're too slow. They're not physical at all. They can score for sure, but Philly's going to get it done eventually. It's just whether it's this one or 7. I don't think that Pens team's good enough.
How did you feel?
How good do you think the Flyers are?
I don't think the Flyers team is good.
Well, they're up and coming though, right? They've got young legs.
The Flyers are just a young team who's gotten a little scared. That's what's happened here. Is they've done exactly what the Anaheim Ducks did last night, where you look, you go, we don't know how hard it is to win this 4th game, right? Like everyone talks about the 4th game and what a step up it is to win and put a team away. This Flyers team just hasn't been able to put the team away yet, and I don't know. I just see that Flyers team as a more evolved, better coached version of the LA Kings. They sit back. If they score first, they're usually going to be fine.
No.
And they just play their game. Like, eventually they're going to win it for me. It's just a matter of, will it be, right away here, or will it be taking another one?
No.
Yeah, I think I'm just falling in love with the storybook of it all. Like, this is definitely because this is Sid Swanson.
The reverse,
basically. Like, he's probably done.
Reverse sweep would be
are
cool
done after this.
Speaking of, how sweet was it to see Trey Yosevich back and pitching as well as he did?
Hey, did you know that there's a big difference between Trey Savage and Tyler Rogers' release points? Just saying. In case nobody knew, there's a big difference.
I thought he came out like I did not expect him coming off the.
He was good.
IR like that. He pitched very well.
Yeah.
Trey is, for anybody who didn't know it, I think Trey is going to be a stud.
What? He has more playoff wins than he does regular season wins.
Yeah.
Which is funny to think about.
That's like Ken Dryden. All right. On the way, we're going to talk a little Canadian Football League draft. I want to talk about these managers getting fired in baseball. Good managers getting fired, bad managers staying. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to get to the bottom of it next. We're also going to talk about the NBA. The playoffs are underway. It's interesting. I heard a rumor that the 76ers won a second game.
Yeah, sir, they won a second game.
Okay, they're all very impressed. Okay, we'll talk about that and more on the way. And of course, the Oilers. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
For over 50 years, The Brick has been proudly serving Canada. They love to save you more on everything you need for your home. Save up to 60% off made in Canada sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Find patio sets starting at just $99 and save up to 40% off mattresses. Plus, take 5 years to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses. Taxes and fees due at purchase, OAC. Visit a Brick near you for details and exclusions. The Brick. Saving you more.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers the Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every Edmonton playoff game for the Legacy Heating and Cooling postgame show. Visit the experts at legacyheating.ca.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Hi, it's Jason McCoy. You know, music's given me a lot of great moments, but nothing means more than time with my dad. When he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, a simple PSA blood test was key in detecting it early, and we got more years, more laughs, and more memories. Guys, it's a quick test that just might end up saving your life.
Join the Princess Auto Motorcycle Ride for Dad in Edmonton, Saturday, June 13th. Register or donate at ridefordad.ca.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's 12:42. This is the Lowdown, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check it out. We are live on Sports 1440 Radio and YouTube. And I will tell you that I don't have a computer with me today. So if there's anything on the text line that is interesting, humorous, or takes a shot at Declan, we want to read that out loud.
Okay.
Just so you know. Major Leagues of Baseball. Fascinating year. Could be the final year in several because they're going to enter negotiations soon, but everybody says a salary cap is coming and players say no way. And the owners usually are the ones that back down in baseball, but we'll see how it goes. This year's been great. Two managers, Phillies and Red Sox, have fired their managers. Now their teams are off to a slow start, but honestly, baseball's the kind of game where you're 9-19 and it's early. It just is. It's a 162 game schedule. So you could go 19-9 and find yourself in third place by, mid-June. It's just a weird, long year. It's twice as many baseball games as hockey games. So for both teams to do it, the Phillies, Dombrowski has a tendency to be a little bit quick on the trigger. The Bo Sox are, they said goodbye to a wildly popular manager who's won World Series before, and that's the one I don't get, honestly.
I don't get that one either.
Yeah, it felt like a power struggle, and you cut off your nose to spite your face. They're not better. The players spoke out, and they were angry about it, and they fired everybody. They fired like 6 guys.
Yeah, they fired literally pretty much the whole coaching staff. I don't understand that one whatsoever. Excuse me. That one, your team is 6 games below 500.
No.
Just pipe down,
nothing. That's
relax. You're fine.
Yeah.
Alex Cora is a great manager. Why would you fire him? That one made no sense. It'd be like the Jays firing John Schneider right now.
Right. Which would be a
there's no point.
Well, people would rip them, and they're ripping the Bo Sox.
If there's teams that should fire managers, look no further than the Mets and Carlos Mendoza. He should be fired into the sun.
Well, they were supposed to be a better defensive team, and they're not. And I thought I saw Bichette playing the shortstop the other day.
Bichette's kind of had to play everywhere, but
because of Lindor.
Yeah, a little bit, and that team just needs a culture change. And to me, that starts with your manager. So if I was the Mets, I'd be looking to fire Carlos Mendoza as quickly as possible. I think you could look at Joe Espada in Houston with the Astros and say that guy needs to go. Sun's getting real low for the Houston Astros, last in their division. I don't think their team's that good, but it still should be substantially better.
The team that I really wonder about, I know San Francisco been a big fuss
Tony
about
Vitello?
They're just awful. They've ruined Adames, who was a good hitter. He's got 37 strikeouts and 70 at bats.
Tony Vitello is actually awful.
Yeah, I think he needs to be fired.
He has made this is his rookie season as a manager.
Yeah.
He has made, and I'm not exaggerating this, he's made every single wrong decision you could ever make.
Yeah, they have the best defensive catcher in baseball, and he's now platooning,
Yeah.
And they keep doing stuff like that. And Webb is not pitching well. They got to straighten that out.
The Giants should be, in respects to their roster, this is going to sound like a bit of a dig, but like they should be the most average team in baseball.
Yeah, 81 and 81.
Their roster is got some real talent on it. There's some great players, and then there's some not so good players. You can look at the same and say about their pitching. There's Logan Webb's awesome. Some of their pitching stinks. Their bullpen, some guys are awesome, some are terrible. You watch him manage his baseball team, and it's just genuinely, it's like the Stooges.
Yeah. And there's no hope. Like in St. Louis, they're not good, but there's some hope. They got some young bats, and the pitching will come along. But in San Francisco, it's they don't even play their top, their first base, Etheridge, their first base prospect. He's not even playing. It's nuts.
Some other guys you could take a peek at. I know his name's out there a little bit in Seattle, Dan Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a good manager. You watch what he did in the ALCS last year against the Jays, and you'd probably understand why he'd be on the hot seat, as well as, man, that team just can't start.
No, they can't.
They come out of the gates just like slugs. They just crawl along. Like, that's a below 500 team right now, and there's no business.
They should have hired Terry Francona. That would have been a good move for them. All right, NBA. I want to start with the 76ers, but let's talk a little bit of what's interesting to you. 76ers not expected to win. They're up against a really good team, but they won, and it's 3-2 now for the Celtics.
Yeah, no, last night, hell of a game. Absolutely. It's really interesting because this has been the main critique of the Celtics, essentially in the whole Joe Mazzulla era of him being the coach, is that they live by the three and they die by the three. So in the 3 games they've won, they're plus in points on 3-point attempts. So they're at plus 45 was their last win. They made 45 extra points over the Sixers in made threes. Makes sense. Yesterday they were minus 16 or something. Every time that they're not making threes, they lose. And that's their inability to adjust from this game plan of, well, we're just going to jack as many threes as possible. And if they're going in, great. And if they're not, we're going to keep shooting them because eventually they'll go in. And I like Nick Vucevic and I like the height that they have. But when a guy like Joel Embiid is on the court, he can really impose his physicality. And yesterday, he banged up his knee, goes to the locker room. I'm like, great. Never mind. The Sixers are losing this. They go into the fourth quarter 1-point dogs. They end up winning by 16. First time ever in NBA playoffs history, by the way, that a road team's won by that much. And so shout out to the Sixers. They're putting up a good fight because I was telling Declan in the break, I was like, Embiid is the best player in this series. When he's on the court, he is the best player. And he was pushed back a little bit on Jason Tatum. I was like, Jason Tatum is a guy who should be able to do more. The Sixers don't have anyone that can match up with Jason Tatum. He should be doing more, but he's averaging a triple double. So I'm sorry, my apologies, but there should really be imposing his will.
They can't win this series, though.
No, the Sixers can't win this series. However, I said the Ducks Oilers series was over yesterday, and I've been wrong. So
maybe this show is under
maybe the Sixers can do it.
Maybe this show is under a cloud of bad predictions.
Maybe I can see a world where the Sixers actually do it. If the Celtics keep missing threes and Joel Embiid stays healthy for the next 2 games, he's gonna yam on them.
Declan, what do you find most interesting about the NBA right now? Is there a series that's caught your eye?
Orlando, Detroit, for all the wrong reasons. I like what Josh just said about Joel Embiid and kind of, the Celtics and their 3-point differential. I think there's something to be said for that. The East is crazy this year because, imagine a second round where it's Orlando, Toronto, Philadelphia, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like now Atlanta, I think the clock struck midnight a little bit on them. I don't think they're going to do it. Orlando and Detroit, I'll harp on this for a second before we move on. Just because Orlando is so bad at basketball, like everything they do is bad and wrong. And they're up 3-1 on the 1 seed. And Detroit has like Jalen Duren. This is the stock market crash of 1929 for basketball. Like what he's doing to his money, he is costing himself like hundreds of millions of dollars. He is averaging 9 points on 42% shooting in this series, and he's getting. You guys know who Jamal Cain is? He's putting Jalen Duren on posters.
Two-way player.
That's where we're at with this Detroit Pistons team. Cade is the only one who can do anything offensively, and he doesn't even do it efficiently. So when he's not getting his shot, they have nothing. It's really, really tough. Asor Thompson, by the way, I love Asor. They have to put him on the bench when they're playing from behind because he can't score. I think his 3-point percentage in this, I don't think he's taken a 3 in the series.
His reluctance to shoot is something of legend.
The only thing I say is like, this is the Orlando team we thought they were going to be all year. And they're finally playing like it. And it just happens to be against the 1 seed everyone kind of fell in love with. So crazy times.
So it's still OKC and Boston, though, in the final.
I'm still not getting off San Antonio.
I'm not getting off San Antonio either. I know it, like, again, in reality, it's probably going to be the Thunder, but there is something about what they have in San Antonio where I'm like, man, like they got it all.
And I got to say, like, for as much as I hate on SGA, like that boy,
he is the best player in the world.
The best player in the world. Like, as much as I hate on him and want to rag on him, and I maintain it, I don't love the way he plays ball. That's the best player in the world. So you got to give him
for a month and a half. He's only missed one shot in the fourth quarter and overtime.
Is there a team emerging, like a team that an outlier team that could upset the apple cart?
Are we discluding the Magic? Are we saying no to the Magic?
The Magic would be the one. Toronto would kind of be the one, but Cleveland has its own problems, so hard and offensively. The real answer
is probably
talk to me in a year from now when we're telling you it's the Charlotte Hornets.
All right. Well, anyways, right now in the playoffs, if we're going seeding wise, it probably goes Magic. Then I would agree. It probably goes Raptors because they're so good defensively. No one should be able to grit and grind their way to that kind of win.
In terms of lay of the land, Denver very well might come back and win that series against Minnesota, but it's fool's gold. They're missing their best player and another very important piece of
very good wing defense.
Why does Minnesota never really get where they're supposed to go?
They were supposed to this year, then Anthony
they've just been injured all year. Like this has just sort of been the story of their season is they've been winning games, but then Ant's out or Rudy's out or Julius Randle's out or Jaden McDaniels has been gone. And you're just like,
or you didn't trade for Io yet,
or you didn't have Io on your
Mike
team
Conley
yet.
26 minutes.
So you're playing, 90-year-old Mike Conley at the starting point guard position or coming off the bench in big minutes. And then finally, like everything's just sort of came together right at the end of the season. And you're looking at the playoff bracket. You're like, this is a way better team than the 6th seed suggests. I did that way better this time. There's a clip of me trying to say that. Not good.
Well, there you go. Don't listen to clips of you trying to say things. That's the key.
No, well, I mean, I was the one that had to edit it, so I had to hear myself do it.
And I hate hearing my own voice. It just drives me nuts. All right. So on the way, Kevin McCertie is going to join us. We're going to talk about the Edmonton Oilers. I'd like to hear what he thinks about the coaching. I have a question about the line matching. I want to talk about the possibility of any changes. And now we know Dickinson and McDavid aren't 100%. Chances are both play. But Frederick was out of the lineup. Does he think he's going to come back in? And we'll talk about that and more as we roll along. Is it 12:57 now? Is that the correct time?
Yep.
All right. I should take a break, and we will. Lowdown with Lowetide brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube. It's time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Custom Floors Inc. Floors done right for homes or businesses. Visit the new showroom, 11577 149th Street, now open 6 days a week, Saturday hours from 10 to 2. And you can, of course, also visit customfloorsinc.ca to bring your next flooring project to life. News around the sporting world is Andrei Vasilevsky, Ilya Sorokin, and Jeremy Swayman has been named as the Vezina finalists. The Blue Jays will throw their first pitch in about 10 minutes' time. George Springer activated off IL and will come off the bench for the series finale versus the Sox. Lauer's going to be on the bump for that one, and it will be Bello for the Sox. Other games around the MLB see the Rays and Guardians tied 0-0. Angels, White Sox tied 1-1. Twins up 2-1 on the Mariners, and the Yankees and Rangers deadlocked at 0 in the top of the second. NHL schedule tonight. Tampa and Montreal getting the action going at 5. Pittsburgh and Philly at 5:30. Philly with a chance to close that series out at home, and Utah and Vegas, the late game, 8 p.m. puck drop for that one. NBA schedule, Orlando and Detroit at 5, Toronto and Cleveland at 5:30, and Houston, LA at 8. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com. Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Mr. Rooter sees a UFO.
Mr. Ruder says 1 plunge, 2. What's this? A UFO? An unidentified floating object. It's beginning to glow and levitate.
Thank you, Mr. Rooter. You have freed us from the gravity of the white hole. Humanity will be spared.
Wow! People aren't going to believe this when I put it in our new commercial.
If you want to believe in a plumber, call Mr. Rooter.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's Truck Month, featuring their best deals of the year. Ask about 0% financing plus extra discounts for Costco members, wolfgmcbuick.com. In this hour, we'll be talking just a moment from now to Kevin McCertie. And we'll also just break down the Edmonton Oilers game last night. Why can they turn it on when they need to, as we saw in that first period, but it takes them a long time to get away from the bad habits, like the long stretch passes, the unnecessary penalties, the inability to get the puck out, as we saw with Trent Frederick on the overtime goal. And I also want to talk to him about line matching, which I think the Oilers need to do. If you look at what has worked and what has not worked from the Anaheim end, Lacombe matched up against McDavid at 5-on-5 is really helping them. Our headline of the day is brought to you by Faber.ca. If debt is holding you back, let Faber's licensed insolvency trustees help you tackle your debt. Book a free consultation at Faber.ca or call 877-944-1177. That's 1-877-944-1177. We don't have them yet. All right. Young Kevin is not available yet, but we can ad lib. It's okay. I talked about it at the beginning of the show, but I think these numbers are stark, and they are strong enough that we can make this a theme of the next 24 hours and watch and see if the coaching staff tries to find a way. Now, I know it's a road. I know it's on the road. I understand that. It's not fair for me to say they should hard match, hard to do when the other guy gets the last change. But Chris Knobloch and Joel Quenneville are having a battle of wits. Quenneville wants Lacombe out there against Connor McDavid. At 5-on-5, they played 51 minutes against each other. Anaheim is out shooting McDavid 30-15, outscoring the Oilers 4-2, and they have an expected goal share of 65%. Away from Lacombe, McDavid's fine, 63% shots, 74% expected goals, and 50% goal share. I don't think it can be changed completely, but it's worth the effort. It's worth tackling it. And I feel like when you're going to Anaheim and it's another game that you have to win or you go home, you need every edge you can. Look, I think they've got the goaltending figured out. I like the defense. The forward group is looking okay, depending upon who's hurt. But it's the line matching that I want to talk about. All right, Kevin McCertie joins us now. Mr. McCertie, how are you?
How are you doing this week?
I'm good. I've been ranting and raving about line matching. I know there's lots of things you probably want to get to, and I will, I promise. But I looked at the Lacombe minutes against McDavid over 51, and they are outshooting 30-15, outscoring 4-2. And when McDavid's away from that pairing, he's doing far better. I'm not saying that you can do it on the road a lot, but if they can get any easing of that pairing against Connor McDavid, I think they should. Chris Knobloch often talks about just wanting to roll his lines and having the other guy adjust. I think Joel Quenneville has adjusted.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. And, Jackson Lacombe is something else, man. He is going to be a superstar. I don't think there's much doubt about that at this point. So the more you can keep McDavid away from him, the better.
And I don't want to overstate it because it is a road game and there are other things we can talk about, but a lot of talk about Knobloch, his comments about, I don't tell them to fade on the forecheck and not get in there when we're ahead by 3 goals. And there is score effects, and we know that is the case. What's your thought on how the Oilers played once they had the lead?
I don't know. I don't know how you don't hold coaching a little bit accountable in this situation. And the reason I say that is because either they're being coached to sit back and play defensive, laid-back hockey, or they're not listening to the coach and they're sitting back and playing laid-back defensive hockey. And in either of those cases, the coaching either has to hold them accountable or hold them accountable. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the one thing that I noticed was that they give up the blue line quickly, but I wondered if that was just a matter of speed on the Anaheim side.
It's a matter of speed, and it's a matter of the number of busted limbs that are currently in play for the Oilers, right? Like, you can argue that Draisaitl's got still lingering effects from his situation. McDavid's not right. There's other guys that have blown a wheel in some capacity or another. So you have to wonder if that plays a factor in their ability to get up ice. And, they lay it all out to get the lead. And then rather than pounding off their limbs for the remainder of the game, they try and sit back and suppress shots. And they did an excellent job of it last night. Like, the quality overall really wasn't there for the most part. They kept the danger low for them. Realistically, I don't feel like Anaheim had that many 9-alarm opportunities last night.
I was really surprised at the effectiveness of Nuge, Hyman, Podkolzin, and I'll be honest, I do not remember that line playing together. And I will give Podkolzin a lot of credit. He's the younger player on the line. He certainly got them off to a fast start and played well. But I thought the other did too as well. I keep talking. There's folks on my blog who are just really down on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I'm sometimes wondering if I'm watching a different game because I know he has limitations. He's not a big man. But I think that line played pretty well last night. I'd like to see them again.
Yeah, absolutely. And Podkolzin did a lot with 13 minutes or whatever it was that he was given last night. You look at those time on ice and you say 13 minutes, no way. Podkolzin was everywhere. And that's the kind of comments that you want to be making about guys. I think people need to offer Ryan Nugent-Hopkins a little bit of grace. He's had a lot of hand issues in the past couple of years, and that has, for a player that plays as he does, that has a big effect on his ability to play. I would say that there's a high likelihood that he's not injury-free right now. The same goes for Hyman. The same goes for Ekholm. The same goes for Connor, Leon, Dickinson, and others. So this is not a healthy lineup by any stretch of the imagination. And, for guys like Nuge, when you don't play a super physical game and you rely on your skating and, elite puck management, things like, again, for example, a hand injury have a drastic effect on that ability.
Someone who I think is fairly healthy that I'm starting to worry about a little bit is Jack Roslovic. He's not been a strong offensive player in the playoffs in previous seasons, and there's some guys on this team who haven't done a lot, and Roslovic is one of them. It's not like he's not in the play or getting chances. I see him on the ice, and he's got an assist, I believe, at 5-on-5. But I'm just a little concerned that when I'm thinking of watching the game and I'm thinking about who they should re-sign, I keep coming up on Kaspern and not Kapanen and not Roslovic. What are your thoughts?
I think I'm in agreement. And during the middle of the season, there was I had said that there was a case to re-sign Roslovic fairly strenuously, but at the same time, I also didn't want to be handing him 7 years and $7 million a year until we saw what he was like in the playoffs. And this was exactly what I was concerned about. He has a history of this. He kind of disappeared in the series that Carolina played last year. And it took actually benching him in order for him to come back and arguably have one of the best games of his career. I think he scored a hat trick. So the Roslovic is a guy that has to be heavily motivated. And I think there are ways to do that, but I would just be really cautious about offering any sort of term to him as a player just for that very reason.
I have a lot of patience, Kevin, for the officials because it's such a fast game, and I know they don't call all the penalties. But when Leon Draisaitl is cross-checked as he was that close to the boards, I think you've got to call that, right?
Absolutely, that's boarding. At the very least, it's 2 minutes. You can make an argument that was a 5-minute penalty. He didn't hit the board super hard, but those are the most dangerous hits in the sport. And they've taught kids since they're little for years that you don't hit a guy in the number, and it's all over the league. It happens every game. That particular hit is the most dangerous type, where the guy's like 3 feet from the boards and goes head first into the glass or into the dasher, because you worry about serious neck injuries. You have to call that. I don't understand how Eric Furlat is standing 10 feet away from it, looking right at it and goes, nope, that's not a penalty. That's insane to me. The Oilers' power play hasn't been as effective as it has been in previous years. It's not a guaranteed goal anymore. So call the rule book. It's really simple.
I like the defense. I also like that Wallman's playing a little bit with Bouchard because I think Ekholm's not completely healthy, so they can rotate in a little bit. The playoffs are nobody's completely healthy. I wish they had gotten Stastny into some games because now it's been too long. I think you can't really count on him to play at that level. Would you make any lineup changes? I know that Frederick was out, probably partly because of the mistake in the overtime. But young Donovan here made the point about keeping Lazar because of penalty killing options that you want to keep open. What are your thoughts on any possible change in the lineup going into Game 6?
I would be you pretty convincingly beat Anaheim last night despite the tilted ice in terms of Corsi and chances against. I think that you can make a really strong case that you should probably just leave well enough alone at this point. There might be some things that they need to tweak, and the penalty kill was better last night than it had been, but they're still leaking goals. And Bruce Cassidy, actually, of all people, did an excellent breakdown as to what happened on that. So encourage people to go find that clip on Twitter or whatever your social media of choice is. Overall, I think that, when you win a game after, and you're in elimination games, you use whatever formula won you the previous game.
Before last night's game, I had a feeling they were going to win because I knew they'd put their best effort forward. And I think Anaheim Quenneville's a really good coach, and they're going to be ready for Game 6. That's their best chance to win it. If it goes to 7, it's anybody's guess. They're going to be playing in Anaheim, and they're good, and they're young, and they've got the lead in this series still, and that was just one game last night. But my sense is that from an Oilers point of view, they finally made Anaheim's goalie look ordinary. How important is it that they had some success early and fairly often, enough anyway, against a goalie that was starting to look like a roadblock?
I think it was very important because again, they were able to sit back for large portions of the game, and Anaheim threw everything they had at them, but maybe that's extra wear and tear on Anaheim as they're pounding the Oilers as hard as they can and still not getting anywhere. That's incredibly frustrating, especially for an inexperienced team. So getting those goals early, and this shades of the 2017 series where I believe there was a game that John Gibson had 3 scored against him early, and he got subsequently pulled, and they ended up going, I think, to 7 games in that series. So hopefully not quite the same repeat this time. Hopefully they can get it back to 7 games and on the way home. But you have to wonder if Husso is what gets the start. I don't imagine that that's what they'll do, but he was pretty good against the Oilers in the latter 40 minutes of that game.
I started this conversation about line matching, and I feel as though there's an opportunity there, and I mentioned the McDavid option there, but is there any thought in your mind, because the fourth line didn't play well and they didn't play a lot. My recall is it was under 8 minutes last night. Any thought of maybe double shifting or trying to find some clean air for one of McDavid or Draisaitl that way? I mean, that was something that Mac T used to do every once in a while, and I think Todd McClellan did too. You're asking a lot of a guy who's hurt, but it does give an opportunity maybe in a different atmosphere.
Yeah, I think that's definitely an option, and they continue to use McDavid on the penalty kill. I think I believe the fourth line boys were rocking about 9 minutes last night.
Okay. They weren't noticeable.
No, not particularly.
They weren't taking penalties either. So
no, that's good. I sort of maybe this is the opportunity that you look at something like 11-7 if you are going to make a change and get Stastny in to go with Emberson for your penalty killing duties, because those guys are great
at all. Yeah.
Those guys are great together on the penalty kill. The problem is they're leaking forwards that are good on the penalty kill. McDavid leads the team in actual goals against per 60 on the penalty kill, and he's pretty banged up. So I don't know if you use him for his minutes there. So it's about finding, you never want to see Zach Hyman on the penalty kill, for example, because he literally is like 29 goals against per 60, and that's more than double the next worst guy on the team, which is like 15 or something like that. I don't remember. The problem is after the 4 that they've been using, you sort of run out of options really quickly. So, it's great to shore up the defense, but I think there's also a case to be made that they're short on penalty killing forwards as well.
I wrote an article this week about the rookies, Doc and Savoy and Szymanski. Their roles have changed, and I think in each case they've played less. Some due to injury, some due to just checking down to a lesser line. And these are realities. Rookies often have a hard time in the playoffs. But I just wanted your opinion on Matt Savoy, who, for me, continues to do pretty smart things.
He does continue to do pretty smart things, and he did a great job of absorbing that hit from Trouba. That's the guy that can give you a concussion just by hitting you, and he folded like a sack of potatoes. But for a guy of his size, that's exactly what you need to do in order to not get injuries. Not McDavid. Wayne Gretzky was sort of famous for his comments about, the best way to absorb a hit was to absorb it and not get turned into roadkill on the side of the highway, right? Like, you just got to relax and take it. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. So seeing Savoy deploy some of that when he took that hit from Trouba was good. I continue to see smart things. He's been less visible than he was at the end of the season. And like you said, that's just rookie nerves. And against a fast team, you don't have a lot of space even for a fast guy. So he'll figure that out. He's an incredibly smart hockey player. He's also a sponge for information. So I expect that as he gets more playoff experience, he's going to be an even better player.
The Edmonton Oilers are a fun team to watch, no doubt, and they have exceptional fans. Do you think we'll ever, I'm thinking about that Evan Bouchard play at the blue line, do you think we'll ever have like a total eclipse of the sun where we all agree on Evan Bouchard, like just even for like a 12-second period?
Not a chance. And we've done an incredible amount of damage to Evan Bouchard's reputation as a fan base and from a media point of view, to the point that I'm not sure that that's completely recoverable. What's great about Evan is he doesn't seem to care that much about the noise, right? Like, he's playing, arguably he struggled through the first part of this series, but he had an exceptional season, and he had one of the best games of his career last night. He was all over the puck defensively. He was making offensive plays. That pass to Podkolzin was absolutely sublime. Just crazy stuff. I don't think we'll ever agree on him. There's always going to be people that just don't like Evan Bouchard because of his gaffes. And the reality is every elite defenseman in the league that touches the puck as much as he does makes those mistakes. They just are less visible because they don't become the, brunt of jokes for weeks on end at a time. And we do no favors to him on that front from our local point of view.
Kevin, thanks for this. Appreciate it.
No worries. Have a good week, everyone.
There you go. Kevin McCertie. Talking about the Edmonton Oilers. Big game last night. Huge game 6 on the way. Man, the Oilers, they never take the easy route. Not ever. Somebody's mic on. Somebody want to say something? No.
They never do. They're allergic to the easy route. A lot like the Toronto Blue Jays.
They kind of are.
And Jeff Hoffman.
Your favorite.
My favorite. Thank God he's not the closer.
Middle reliever Jeff Hoffman, actually.
Thank God for Louis Varland, and thank God they finally saw what literally everyone else on planet Earth saw, which is Jeff Hoffman's not a closer. Thank you, Louis Varland. Thank you, John Schneider. Thank you, Toronto Blue Jays, for finally realizing it. It only took you a good, year longer than the rest of us?
So Jeff Hoffman is the Detroit Red Wings defense of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yes. I hate Jeff Hoffman, and I will always hate Jeff Hoffman. And a lot of it has to do with what he did to me and the rest of us Toronto Blue Jays fans in that 9th inning and giving up a stupid home run to Miguel freaking Rojas,
who is not a home run hitter. All right. With that, I've made everybody happy. We'll take a break. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lottery, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every Edmonton playoff game for the Legacy Heating and Cooling postgame show. Visit the experts at legacyheating.ca.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Measles is very dangerous during pregnancy, increasing the risk of many severe health-related complications. If you're planning to become pregnant, make sure you have received 2 doses of the vaccine at least 1 month before conception. Don't get measles, get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Breaking down the fine art of sports. One rep at a time. The Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
You buy Wolf GMC Buick. It's truck month. Check it out at wolfgmcbuick.com. The Vezina Trophy Awards have been announced. The finalists are Sorkin, Swayman, Vasilevsky.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which one of those 3 is coming to Edmonton this summer?
None.
Come on.
Ilya
Sorokin, obviously.
If they're making a goaltending trade, it will be with the Minnesota Wild. Because
which one are they going to get?
I don't know. But Gustafsson sitting on the bench right now, that you can be sure that's going to be probably pissing him off.
What would you get? What would you have to give up? A lot.
Oh,
Xavier Bourgault and Luka Munzenberger.
you'd have to give up a ton, man. I mean, but here's the problem that I look at when I'm thinking about the Oilers trading with the Minnesota Wild, okay? So
Bill Guerin?
we know what Bill Guerin likes in players. I think we could all say that firmly.
Yep. Good players.
He likes good players, but he also likes big guys who play with some jam. So when I look at the Oilers
I don't
players,
like the way you're going here.
when I look at the Oilers players who are actually fitting his style of play, I look at Vasily Podkolzin.
You should go. You should go.
I'm not saying that the Oilers would do this.
How dare you?
But
He's
that would
my
be
son.
That would be the guy that I would assume Bill Guerin would call for.
Damn it. And you're right, but a little bit of hatred right now.
Hey, you can hate it all you want.
So what does your full package look like?
Well, it would be some variation of in my assumption, I would assume it would be Vasily Podkolzin, probably. Like, I don't know how much interest Bill Guerin would have in a guy like Ike Howard or
not Ike Howard
or first round picks, but
No,
it would
be-
have to start with Pods.
Yeah, it would be Podkolzin, and I mean they like college defensemen, so maybe like Carfagna and a first, or it'd be a lot.
It would be a ton, but it would be Pods, a first, and something else.
And you're right, that's exactly what it would be, and I do not want to do that. You
And
know how hard it
that's
is to
fair.
find a
It's
Podkolzin?
really hard to find Podkolzin.
And he's going to be here for a decade if they like play their cards right.
I agree.
He's not going to be as expensive as people think, but he's going to be more valuable than you're paying him.
I agree.
Damn it.
I'm just saying,
Donovan.
if you want that goalie, the one easy place to go is Minnesota.
The day is
But
ruined.
what would Minnesota ask for? It would be Vasily Podkolzin, and I would bet my life savings that they would ask for Vasily Podkolzin in return.
No, you're right. You're right.
There is not a more Bill Guerin style player.
No, and I don't think they can trade him because they don't have another one. Like they did when the Holloway, but they they sold him down the river. I mean, this is found money with Podkolzin. It is. Would you trade that? God, you just got him.
It's a tough choice, man.
What if they trade him? They get the goalie, and he comes here and does the same damn thing as every other goalie.
That's the question. I don't know. I don't know if I would do it.
Almost seems likely at this point, based on what we've seen.
Theoretically, maybe look at this at a wider scale, right? So you give up Vasily Podkolzin, something you don't want to do if you're the Edmonton Oilers, but you get Philip Gustafsson. The idea in theory is that with Philip Gustafsson, you are good enough to win a Stanley Cup, and you do win a Stanley Cup. So in totality, you have traded Vasily Podkolzin for Philip Gustafsson and Connor McDavid for the rest of his career. Like you have absolutely shut the door on any idea that he would leave the city of Edmonton.
Could we make a list of all the forwards that Rick Tocchet doesn't like? Because there's probably another Podkolzin on that list.
Yeah. There might
Who's
be
he
one in
mad
Philly.
at now?
Mishkov.
Oh, right.
But hey, you know what? We had Jordan Hall on the Carrier show today. He said that they're sort of turning a page here. Him and Mitchkov.
The Flyers for when going back to not just Richards and Carter, going back forever ago. Boy, when they turn on a guy, that with Lindros when he wouldn't get on the plane because he had his lung collapsed and they were mad. Bobby Clark was mad at him, you know, and they said we didn't give Roger Nielsen cancer. Philly's a tough town. They're a tough town, man.
So now obviously this Podkolzin trade,
You've
debate.
angered the gods.
People have now responded. Nick says, I think you guys are way overestimating the goalie trade market. Find me a goalie trade for a non-superstar goalie that is anywhere near Pods in a first.
Oh, I don't know. You give me 10 minutes and I'll find you something.
Askarov,
Yeah, what did he? But they got a lot.
that was basically the equivalent of 2 firsts plus.
Yeah,
Which
and he wasn't as sure thing as these guys.
no, he wasn't. You
No.
could look at Spencer Knight.
It's a good goalie.
And that was the Seth Jones deal, right? So that was Spencer Knight in the first.
Yeah.
For Seth Jones, which if you're to trade Spencer Knight straight up right now, you would be looking at a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, that's like for the Oilers would be more Bouchard than Nurse they'd be giving up on the other side. Like,
yeah.
At the time, Jones had that kind of,
Yes. Yeah. It's just, if you're looking, and the thing, if you're looking at Philip Gustafson, you'd be looking at a guy who there's cost certainty. And it's only $6.8 million for a guy who you think is, I don't know. I've watched Philip Gustafson. I think that's a legit, maybe not that like superstar, like top 5 goalie.
Right.
But I look at him in that same tier as like Allmark, as
I'd like
you throw
Swayman.
in. There's a lot of guys that you could throw in that tier.
I didn't realize that Kiner Falefa was still in the league.
Kiner Falefa sucks, man.
Well, I mean, he should have taken a bigger lead, but that's neither here nor there.
No disrespect to Kiner Falefa. I will forever hate him because of that short lead.
Man, you're going to hate everybody for a long time.
No.
He does. Have you not heard the man?
There's really only 2 players on
I
that
only met
team
him
that I
today.
despise, and that is Kiner Falefa and Jeff Hoffman, because those are the 2 gentlemen I hold most responsible.
And
that is the sports memory. You know how everybody has one where you'll always look back, you'll never forget, and it'll always pain you.
No,
that is it.
I have for many years held a grudge against Jim Fanning, who was the manager of the Expos at the time, and Steve Rogers, who's the guy who threw Rick Monday that pitch that he hit to the moon. Actually, supplies satellite television to Buffalo now. He hit it forever. And online twice, I went on and I disparaged Jim Fanning and his son, slapped back in a very proud way and a high-class way, and made me feel shame. And then Steve Rogers, somebody in his family, I did the same thing, and they slapped back. So now I've just stopped being angry online, but I know how you feel about those players.
Other texts here about this type of stuff. Not Fred. I disagree about Seth Jones. When Chicago traded him, he was not playing very well, and people thought that his career was coming to an end when he went to Florida, and then all of a sudden he became what he was in Nashville.
I think Florida knew what he was.
Florida definitely knew what he was.
And Chicago was, you can't, if you're a defenseman who's paid money to defend on a team that's bad, your stats are going to look bad. They just are. They really are. And it's not your fault.
I would also say Florida takes those shots, and that's one of the reasons they've won 2 Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
They did that with Sam Bennett, who is awful in Calgary.
Boy, he's good there.
And man, has he been good in Florida.
No.
They've just taken those shots on these. It's Sam Reinhart in Buffalo.
Yeah. And Marchand fell into their laps, and that was a key acquisition. I watched Marchand his whole career. I know he's older, but man, he is he's a little rat. Yeah. But he's also skilled, and he cheats. People go, when veterans don't cheat. He cheats all the time for offense.
Hey,
and it works out.
It's what you like to say. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
But I mean, damn it. I knew the day that they made that trade that they were going to be a load. I didn't know they were going to win, but I knew the Oilers were, if they made the final, they'd be playing Brad Marchand, and that's no fun at all. All right, 134. Actually, it's 136, isn't it?
Correct. Almost. It's 135 and 50 seconds.
Do you think Declan can fill 20 minutes?
Well, I mean, I'm here to help Declan.
There's 4 of us.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely be talking about basketball.
All right.
I want you to start the segment.
Donnie, hoops is your main beat, dog.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume you heard. I when you were absent, I asked Paul Sir a couple of questions, and
did you actually?
Oh yeah, not a big deal, but I think I knocked them out of the park
on the morning show.
Oh yeah,
what'd you ask?
I don't remember,
yeah.
But it was something about
are the
Thunder should they be as heavy a favorite as they are, and who is your favorite to kind of maybe upset them?
I would ask him everything he knows about Moses Malone.
Guess
and
what?
That would be the show.
You could ask him that.
Yeah.
You can have him on the show at any point. I'm sure he'd be happy to come on.
Well, Paul comes on, but Gregor has him, so I don't want to sometimes
and Kevin has him.
I steal those guys' guests all the time, and I feel bad,
Well, okay, Declan steals their guests all the time.
Well, no, but I ask for people, but I don't want to. Me talking to somebody at 12:10 and then Gregor talking to them at 2:40. We want to super serve the listener.
I think this is an issue we have. I think Paul would be like, "Hey, Greg's, I can't do your show today because I did Lowetides."
Yeah.
Or Connor would say that. Or when you asked him, he'd say, sorry, I don't think I can.
I think actually,
I was on Carrie's show this morning.
If we're just being public about it, I think Declan trolls both shows by signing up guests for this show that they're going to have on the next day or later that afternoon.
No, here's what, like, first of all, I always check Brandon's show tweet. So I'll never, ever look to get someone who is on the morning show. But what'll happen is, like, obviously I don't, talk to Connor about it and their
Or
shows,
anything at all.
well,
You
their
and Connor
shows-
don't talk.
Their show's 2 hours behind us. So I'll get someone and Connor will come to me and say, like, hey, I also booked them. Then he'll be like, can you find someone else? I'm like, well, our show's in 20 minutes. Yours is in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Like, maybe you could find someone else, actually.
Is that
and then we just end up dropping the guest.
Is that a career limiting move for you?
Listen, I don't, it works well on this show because, like, you don't always love guests anyway. And I think we all
It's
riff
not
very
that.
well. No, I know. Sorry. But we riff very well anyway. Right. So that makes it a little easy.
I always want guests that are just really brilliant for the show.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, Donovan is more interesting than some of the people that.
Yeah, but for sure. And I just mean,
And
like, I
Josh
remember,
Definitely more of an enigma. That's
like,
what he
I
is.
remember one time I was sitting in for Connor on Gregor's show and couldn't get a 220 guest. Like, I
remember this day.
I was texting everyone under the sun. Like, I was calling everyone under the sun. I was trying to move guests to the 220 spot. Couldn't get one. And I went to Greg's and I was like, no 220 guest. And he was like, yeah, that's not going to work. Whereas here, it's a little bit more, hey, that's fine. We'll roll with the punches.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what? You got Ryan Pike.
We did get Ryan Pike.
Name an easier going host than me.
Walks.
Yeah, Walks is easier going.
No,
Walks
you're
is-
probably the king for that.
Walks is fairly easygoing, but you definitely are the king for that.
Yeah, because I feel like
Oh,
we're
no,
in
I
the
feel like I'm a
entertainment
pretty
business.
easygoing host on
Yeah.
Saturday mornings.
Oh, whenever anybody steps in for the Saturday sports setup, it is the most easygoing thing of all time.
Yeah, Sir is beautiful. I love that man.
He's very easygoing as well.
Yeah,
actually,
he is. Paul Sir is what we all should try to be. That's the truth.
He's just like, Josh, can you? I'm like, yeah, no, I did that already. It's like, oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Drafting,
You're welcome, Paul.
Batting Miles Straw 7th is giving up. All right, on the way, Declinations, Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Krueger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on now. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. Use code 1440 for 15% off at notalonecode.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on now. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
.143 Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. It is time for Declinations, brought to you by Fairway Divorce Solutions. The clear road to a new life. There is a better way. Fairwaydivorce.com. And with that, we turn the microphone over to Declan Krueger.
And Josh and Donovan. And you know what? Even if there's time, Lowetide.
Only if there's time.
Only if there's time. Not a long segment.
My time, Forrest.
I guess we should talk about the games last night, and then we can talk about the games tonight. Philly Boston, we've talked about a little bit. Me and Josh have kind of gone back and forth. Like, you know, you make the point you think Joel Embiid's the best player in the series. I still kind of maintain that it's Tatum. I just think, like, it's not very often the best player in the series loses the first round, which is kind of like, if you want to sit there and tell me Joel Embiid had the highest potential, is the most talented player in the series, I can agree with you on that. But, you know, best ability is availability. He hasn't always been available. Now, when he's played, obviously he had 33 last night. That was huge. Wasn't a banner night for the Celtics. But I just, like, where do you guys come out on this? Like, I think in a sport like basketball,
you shouldn't lose with the best player on the
like,
court.
I don't know if you should lose in the first round, right? So that's kind of where my hesitancy lies. Now, obviously, still a team game. Boston's a better coach team. They're a better put together team. They have a lot of guys who step up, but I still think there's something to be said for, like, who Jason Tatum is and what he's done.
What's the win total difference between the two teams?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Probably
Probably
wasn't
12
much.
games.
Yeah, probably about that.
That's
you know what?
significant.
Let's take a look. We can look this up.
That we can.
It was 11.
Okay.
Hey, it was pretty
Yeah, you were
close.
close.
If we had a draft, the two teams are now being dismantled.
I love this exercise.
And Poughkeepsie and Lexington are getting franchises. How many of the top 10, no, the top 6 players, because it's NBA, how many of the top 6 players are 76ers?
1.
3.
You think so?
In this series?
Oh, in this series, because I was thinking on totality.
In this series, your Joel, Tyrese, and VJ would all be in
Okay,
the
then
top 3.
I will say then
Top
it's
six.
Oh, yeah,
Top
I guess
6.
you're right, because
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah, you're
Close-
right, younger. That's
close
good.
enough to even then you know, the best team player shouldn't lose.
Yeah, but like the bench of Boston, a lot better.
The bench of Boston's good.
Derek White's kind of been a bit of a ghost, but it's. I guess I don't want to say it's not hurt them because they've dropped 2 in a series. A lot of people thought they should have won in 4. They're better coached, a little bit deeper. I don't know. Listen, I think they're going to win the series. I think they're going to go to the NBA Finals. I think this is just kind of a talking point for right now. That isn't going to mean much as the series goes on.
I will remember it always, and I will remember it as the time you guys doubled down on my Philadelphia teams after putting my quarterback through a grueling late winter, early spring, simply because of a flag football game.
Well, he deserved it.
Yeah, he did.
Terrible behavior by both of you.
Atlanta, New York. New York has finally kind of showed their skill gap in this one. They won by 29. Jalen Brunson had 39 points. Kylie Jenner was front row. She didn't stand up to give him a standing ovation, though. Timothy Chalamet and Ben Stiller sure did.
Wait a minute.
Kylie stayed
This-
sitting.
I thought this was a sports show.
Well, I mean, listen, who's more synonymous with sports than the Kardashian Jenner family? Am I right?
Touche. You know, you make a good point. Also, CJ
Manning
McCollum only
family.
had 6 points. I
Yeah,
believe.
he was their best player, their leading scorer. Who is their best player? Only had 18 points in Jalen. Like, the talent gap was always really vast in this series. I didn't think this was ever going to be 4. I think I said Knicks in 6. They have a chance to close it out tonight. Yeah,
That'd be like
the
our first
talent-
prediction, right?
No, I
wasn't
said,
a gimme.
I said Spurs in 5. I don't know.
Oh,
what
yeah.
You said.
I might have. Oh, actually, I might have agreed with you.
Yeah, I said Spurs, and they did win in 5 last night. Portland was just Portland
There's also a
had
skill gap.
Yeah, huge skill gap, but also they had the worst the style of basketball they play, they had the worst possible matchup. Their style of play is let Denny get downhill and get to the rim, and Victor Wembanyama was there waiting at the rim. So it was never going to go well for them. Credit them for getting the game. I don't know what Portland's future is going to look like. They got some nice young redeemable pieces. I love Tamari Kamara. Donovan Clingan can be in contention for the rebounding title. Scoot can be a bucket. Denny's obviously kind of coming to his own. Might make third team All NBA this year. But even with all of that, they kind of feel like a team that even when they're at their best with everyone firing, they're going to be like a fourth seed who maybe kind of half flukes their way into a conference finals. And that's the best it's going to get for that roster.
Like the Trailblazers of old.
Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with that per se, but it's like that was exactly what you were with Damian Lillard. Is that exactly what you're going to be again? That's not always an enviable spot to be. And their owner, I don't know if you guys are following this. He is getting crushed online for not wanting to spend money.
Well, fans never like that.
He tried to, I think, offer Mike Malone $1 million to coach the team, or $4 million to coach the team, and he was making like 8+ in Denver. He's making 7.5 in North Carolina. He didn't give the fans T-shirts at the game. Like he has been.
Dude, like that's
cutting costs everywhere.
He wasn't flying players out to games. Because normally the two-way players who are ineligible to play in the playoffs, they still fly with the team. He's like, no, I'm not paying for your flight, room, and board. Like, what am I here, a handout?
That looks bad. Baseball did that, where they were trying to make the minor leagues pay for their own food and things.
Yeah, it's a bad look.
So bad.
Anyways,
you never recover from that. People don't like rich people who are jerks about money. Keep that in mind.
Has he been this way in Carolina? Because he's.
I've never heard anything like that.
No, I haven't really heard anything about that.
Putting Miko Randon's wife in
now
the
that,
Best Western.
Yeah, that was ugly.
Legendary.
But
what's wrong with the Best Western, you jackasses?
Well, you own an NHL franchise. You should be able
put her
to
up at the Ritz.
Put your star player, who you traded for, his wife, in a nicer place.
There's a Ritz in Winnipeg,
or an Airbnb.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, let her stay at your house, man. I'm sure you got the nicest house in North Carolina with a couple spare rooms.
What? So now, obviously, I'm no hoop head, and I have obviously been my attentions have been elsewhere, mostly with the NHL playoffs. What are we thinking of the Rap series? What do we think that goes right now?
Man, I was going to dive into the games tonight. So what a segue. Let's do it. I think this is stoppable force meets movable.
Yeah, it's so weird.
That's what this series is.
Perfect.
Donovan, like the Cleveland Cavaliers we've sat here and we've harped and we've ripped on James Harden but it's like even worse than you think. Like if he doesn't have the ball in the offense, he just sulks.
He doesn't
he
do
just
anything.
stands there. He doesn't cut. He doesn't try and get involved in the play. Like they basically have to run a 4-man offense if he doesn't handle the ball. Evan Mobley is kind of getting little brothered a little bit by Colin Murray Boyles, which is really tough to see.
Wild.
Jared Allen, like how would you even describe Jared Allen this series?
Huh?
Yeah, like Donovan Mitchell can't shoot. Like it's again. This is similar. This is similar to Atlanta, New York, in the sense that the skill gap should be overwhelming for Cleveland, and they run away with it. Toronto's kind of got their own problems, but they at least seem like it's almost like if you pulled the teams and you were like, "Hey, Cleveland, do you want to win this series?" They'd be like, "I don't know."
I think
if you asked Toronto, they'd be like, "Yeah, we want to win."
I think you have to give a little more credit to what the Raptors team defense is doing, because they are absolutely like putting in the work over there to the point where they're exhausted. They don't make shots at all, which is where the stoppable force comes from.
Harden was not like this in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was. Harden's been like this everywhere. We've harped on Harden.
Not just James Harden. Like we gotta.
I was so happy when he came, and I was so miserable when he was there. It was like the worst of times.
It's the James Harden experience, baby.
But honestly, like this James Harden playoffs is over. It's overriding the fact that Donovan Mitchell is yet again dropping the ball in the playoffs. Like he's literally there. He's doing that meme where he's like Shaq hiding behind the pole because we're all talking about how bad James Harden's been, and meanwhile he's like the franchise player shooting 6 for 24 in a game. When the Raptors shoot like 3% from 3.
13%, 4 of 30 from the 3-point line.
And
Like
won the game.
What was the stat line? Was it 6 for 23 for Ingram? Was he was the leading scorer?
Oh yeah, he was awful. But he had 21 points. Like he went to the line
Yeah.
12 times or something.
But still, like leading scorer, and he's shooting 6 for 23. I
But,
think
like that was like,
And you know what?
I can't even like begin to explain how weird that game was, because it was like no one could make a shot, but also like it's not a car wreck that you can't take your eyes off of. I'm like, this is incredible. Like it was a defensive like game. But then you're like, come on, man, like someone's got to make a shot here. Like we obviously have to get over 100 points in this game from somebody.
The craziest part about this series is like the winner could conceivably beat Orlando in the next round, because Orlando is just also so bad. Now they've been playing well, kind of, I guess, randomly. But like if it's Orlando, Cleveland, or Orlando, Toronto, like those teams have a fighting chance. And you're just sitting there like, how did one of these 3 teams get in the conference finals?
Who's most likely to just get hot as a firecracker?
Like a player or team?
Team.
Oh, hot as a firecracker. That has to be an East team.
But probably New York, but they almost don't even need to, because the talent gap just exists when it finally shows up.
But like for
Boston,
in
probably
its totality,
Boston probably
in the totality of the playoffs, I think the right answer is probably the Cavs. They got shooters like Dean Wade and Donovan Mitchell. Like Donovan Mitchell is just a guy that can turn it on.
Sad state of the league. But
well, so this is what's funny is that the Western Conference playoffs is kind of going as expected. Everyone was like, oh yeah, this is sort of going the way it is. And then the Eastern Conference playoffs is literally just chaos. It's like explosions are happening, but there's kittens and there's colors everywhere. It's like an acid trip,
Speaking of, the Boston Red Sox can't play defense.
Well,
shocker.
Breaking news, fork found in kitchen.
Jeez. He overthrew the catcher by 800 feet.
That throw was pathetic. Like not even close. Not even the same area code.
One of the best things in sports is a player waving his teammate on in baseball. Like it's pure electricity.
Does Kaz go yard here over the Green Monster?
I mean, Brian Bayo. It's possible.
They've got better pitchers than Bayo. I don't know why he's out there.
Brian Bayo, he had such a good year last year.
He did. He really did.
And he's just imploded again. I don't understand how he's no good. Everything about watching him tells me he should be awesome. Like he has so many good pitches, and you just watch him, and he's just awful.
I'm never convinced a guy can't pitch until Milwaukee Brewers have him and he can't pitch there.
If he was a Brewer, he'd be awesome. They would figure something out about him, but as a Red Sox, he just sucks.
Well, did you see the first pitch? It wasn't competitive.
Oh, the first pitch was, for those obviously listening on terrestrial radio, it was in the other batter's box, and it was in the dirt before it hit home plate.
Do you think that we irritate Josh and Declan because they're talking about basketball and it's a basketball segment, and then we just talk about baseball?
Not today. I'm watching the game. I'm pretty invested.
Oh, okay, good. I think they're going to meet us at the bite racks and beat the hell out of us one of these days.
Like, let's be real. We were kind of done.
Okay. All right. On the way, Jason Gregor. Big game last night. Big game coming up for the Edmonton Oilers. It's all on the way. Thanks for tuning into the Lowdown. Please enjoy your day.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Baseball action. Blue Jays just taking a 2-1 lead over the Red Sox. That one in the bottom of the third. Marlins and Dodgers tied 1-1. Mariners, Twins, Angels, White Sox both tied 2-2. Guardians lead the Rays 3-0 in the top of the sixth. And the Yankees, Rangers tied at 0 in the top of the fifth. NHL action tonight will get going at 5 with Montreal and Tampa. That series currently tied at 2. Pittsburgh and Philly at 5:30 with Philly a chance to end the series on home ice, and the late game will see Utah and Vegas at 8 o'clock. In the NBA, 3 games, Orlando and Detroit at 5. Orlando with a chance to clinch that one on the road as they lead 3-1. Toronto and Cleveland at 5:30. That series tied 2-2. And Houston in LA to take on the Lakers. An 8 p.m. first tip with the Lakers leading that series 3-1. Andre Vasilevsky, Ilya Sorokin, and Jeremy Swayman have been named as the Vezina finalists in NHL news, and that's going to do it for us here on the Lowdown with Lowetide. Jason Gregor show up next with Connor Helly. I'm Declan Krueger, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.